A Good Girl's Guide to Murders Episode 6, or the season finale, opens with Pip conversing with the girl Elliot has abducted. The girl introduces herself to Pip as Isla and says that Elliot took her home after mistaking her for Andy. Sal Singh was slain by who? Elliot was upset to learn that Isla was not Andy, Isla discloses. She explains that although Elliot eventually confessed to killing Sal, she still thought he was a wonderful man who had been helpful. Isla informs Pip that Elliot killed Sal after being named as a suspect by the police. He also told Isla how he discovered information regarding Max's accident from Naomi's notebook. Elliot threatened Max, Jake, and Naomi to retract their claims regarding Sal's alibi by using the incident as leverage. Elliot then told Isla about how he drugged Sal and then suffocated him in his automobile to end his life. Elliot's revelation scares Isla, so she tells Pip that she attempted to flee. She does, however, admit that Elliot locked her in the house for the previous 5 years. Elliot Ward, what happens to him? While Isla receives the necessary medical care, Elliot is sent to prison. Pip is trying to get over the horror of this case when Victor brings her home. A few days later, Pip, satisfied that Sal has finally been shown to be innocent, decides to remove the murder board. When Pip first meets Ravi, he inquires about his thoughts on Sal's acquittal and Elliot's incrimination. According to Ravi, Pip is the reason the Singh family is at last at ease. As Pip is about to tell him how she feels about him, Ravi interrupts and says he is leaving Little Kilton. He declares that he will move out, find employment, and enroll in college. Though sorrowful, Ravi gives Pip a hug before heading out. Pip makes sure Kara is all right and carries on with her life as usual. After Elliot's arrest, Pip and her friends give Kara hugs at school to make sure she doesn't feel alone and mistreated. Was Barney killed by Elliot? Pip had a breakdown at home and accuses herself of destroying Kara's life. Leanne assures Pip that Elliot bears responsibility for his actions and commends her for her role in clearing Sal's name and relieving the Singh family of public disgrace. She also informs Pip that had it not been for her inquiry, Isla would have spent her entire life trapped in the closet. Leanne tells Pip that Elliot still hasn't admitted to killing Andy, but she is proud of her daughter. Pip is prompted by this comment to review the menacing texts that the murderer had sent her. Pip discovers that Elliot had just put a note under her pillow and that the texts were sent by a different individual. Pip discovers that the Ward family was not present on the day of Barney's murder when browsing through Kara's social media accounts. Pip comes to the conclusion that Andy's killer also killed Barney. When she visits Elliot in jail, she accuses him of killing Sal, framing him when Sal had trusted him, and abusing a child, Andy. Has Becca Bell been raped? Elliot informs Pip that Andy was attempting to coerce her for moving out by demanding money as her father, Jason Bell, was exerting control over her. Additionally, he says that on the evening of Andy's abduction, he witnessed Jason driving in his blue van. Pip tells Elliot that his actions were entirely voluntary, despite his attempts to justify himself. Pip dashes to Ravi's residence and begs him to assist her in identifying Andy's real killer. As Ravi packs to leave town, Pip brings up Elliot, which upsets Ravi. Pip asks to go with him to uncover Andy's killer, but he declines. Pip visits Jason Bell's garage in an attempt to locate the blue van he was driving the night Andy was killed. Jason notices something strange and follows Pip, but the girl who rescued her at the catastrophe party comes to her rescue. Before Andy and Sal's deaths in 2019, Becca was sexually abused at one of the disaster parties, the girl Jessie informs Pip. Pip realizes she has a new lead in the Andy Bell case and thanks Jessie for saving her life. After reading the message that Pip discovered inside Andy's plush toy, she discovers that a customer by the name of TT bought Rohypnol from Andy. Tango Tits' Max is confronted about raping Becca over the phone after she comes to the conclusion that he was TT. Pip captures Max admitting to sleeping with Becca during a party while she was high on drugs. Next, she attempts to put the events of the night Andy vanished into context. To speak with Becca, Pip visits the Bell residence. Who took Andy Bell's life? In a flashback from the evening of Andy's disappearance, she is shown leaving Elliot's house and returning home with cuts to her head. Today, Pip admits to Becca what she done to her sister. When Pip comes over, Becca gives her tea and medication. Becca admits that she was sexually assaulted by Max during the party and says she notified Andy about it. Pip is informed by Becca that, even though Andy is her sister, he instructed her to be silent about the incident since she sold the drugs to Max. She continues by saying that she felt excluded because Andy was planning to leave town the next day. According to Becca, there was a fight between the two sisters over it, and Andy got hurt in their living room. Becca says she saw Andy choke on her own vomit and end her life. Pip wishes Becca well and encourages her to report the rape. Becca retorts that wealthy individuals with connections, like Max, never have to pay for their misdeeds. Pip affirms to Becca that she did not kill Andy, but Becca threatens to hold Pip accountable for concealing Andy's corpse. Pip is taken by Becca to the location where she hid Andy's body. Pip discovers that Rohypnol was present in the tea Becca had given her. Do Pip and Ravi wind up dating? After getting off the bus, Ravi heads back home. He heads in search of her after discovering Pip's car outside the Bell residence. He informs Kara that Pip is missing when they first meet outside her home. Kara locates Pip using her phone, and the two find themselves at the sewage tank located deep within the forest. The barely awake Pip pushes Becca away and makes an attempt to get away just as she threatens to shove him inside the tank. Pip is saved when Kara and Ravi arrive at the septic tank just in time. Sal is shown in another flashback walking behind Andy into the school while little Pip is outside. Andy informs Sal in the classroom that Jason has stolen all of the money she had accumulated. Sal assures Andy that he will make arrangements for the money she requires and that he will see her the next morning when she moves to Oxford. The couple declares their love for one another with an embrace and kiss. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. How does it conclude? In the present, Pip's mother finds great joy in reading her EPQ. Pip informs her mother that, despite her biological father having attended Cambridge, she does not wish to attend. Pip's point is finally understood by Leanne, who then tells her she can attend any college. Pip encounters Max while strolling across the town. Max tries to defend what occurred with Becca, but Pip accuses him of rape and swears to hold him accountable for both the hit-and-run incident and what he did with Becca. Then Pip meets Ravi near the lake, where he tells him about a new pizzeria they should check out. As the play closes, Pip begs Ravi to stop talking and gives him a kiss. The review of the episode. Whoa, this was such a crazy episode. Though novel Pip learned the details of Sal's death directly from Elliot rather than Isla, the show appears to have stretched out the introduction of the killers over the course of 2 episodes. In an attempt to make Elliot seem unlikable, the show tries to paint him in the worst possible light. Pip tells him in prison that although he was not misinterpreted, he made all those blunders voluntarily. The human element applied to Andy and Sal was the most charming aspect of the program. We realized that the two were just going through a difficult time and did not have a negative relationship. Andy loved Sal just as much as she was the bad girl who was taking advantage of him. I regret what happened to Andy since the character has been so subdued by the show. We can see that Season 2 is very likely, and Pip will make sure Max is held accountable for his actions. Why did the show's creators choose to have Becca lead Pip to the location where she concealed Andy's corpse? It's probable that they were tired of depicting the body's hunt. All things considered, the program has its high points and low points, but I have no doubt that readers of the book will adore this A Good Girl's Guide to Murder adaptation.